about that. How do you think this will go, this printing, the controversy, Joseph?
Printing ballot papers controversy. I think the most unfortunate thing for me is the intransigence of the Electoral Commission, the IEBC, because I think this could have been handled better than the manner in which IEBC has handled it. And I say it for this purpose, that IEBC is an independent institution, yes, but it has primary stakeholders that at every time it should consult with, it should consult with. And knowing the emotive nature of general election, a general election particularly, or any kind of election, but particularly a general election, in my opinion, you do not proceed without creating a sense of assurance between and amongst the primary stakeholders, a sense of trust between and among the primary stakeholders. But the IEBC has proceeded in this manner with an attitude of like, take it or leave it, this is what we're doing. Even though it acknowledges the right of parties to question, to even go to court and so on, but at the same time it condemns these very parties when they go to court. It contests where it ought not to contest. It is acting on a tender that has been nullified by the Public Procurement Oversight Board, nullified by the High Court, nullified by the Court of Appeal, but still giving to the same company. So the current tender, in my opinion, could be totally, there could be nothing wrong. It could be above board, But we love this thing to say that justice has not only to be done, but be seen to be done. So when people ask the question, why only this one company? IEBC ought to have as much information as possible to actually satisfy people's doubts.
But isn't the IEBC, maybe just being independent from all the noise and every other question that is being raised about issues to do with the process?
Independent can never mean that you ignore procurement laws. You must follow, and any other laws that govern anything we do in this country. So independence doesn't mean that you ignore laws, you must follow laws. But secondly, independence also doesn't mean that you act as if your primary stakeholders don't exist. Take, for example, courts of law. They are also independent institutions, but they listen to parties, they are petitioned, they are stopped. Judges are even asked to disqualify themselves. Aspersions are cast upon the character of judges, and they listen. They don't throw at people that attitude that, like it or not, this is what it will be. Even when we are questioning the integrity of a particular judge, or rather their suitability to preside over a case, they listen, or they give their colleague to listen to you. They say give them benefit of doubt. So IEBC ought to be giving its primary stakeholders benefit of doubt and presume sincerity in the questioning until such a moment that they prove not only to that stakeholder, but to the entire nation that, look, we are clean on this, and we are doing this for the nation.
All right. But we have just 43 days to the elections. Are we likely to see, something drastic happen to this printing tender?
I hope not, because I think as citizens, we really need to move from this period. Our lives need to go back to our businesses, and you'd say that the blame could be on both sides, because there are two things at play. There's law, and then there's politics. The law has taken its course. You have the procurement processes being questioned. You have court cases, and even the one that has been filed now. And then, of course, now you have the politics. The politics that comes in where what image do I want to create for my party? What image do I want to create for the institution? And the unfortunate thing is that at the end of the day, we might see the politics taking over the legal processes. And so my hope is that people again will sit down more, just like he said, so we find an amicable solution to this. And for me, the best way forward will be to have an out-of-court process, so that we do not delay the election period, we do not delay the election processes, and we are still bringing together all the stakeholders, all the parties in the process to ensure that we are having our election and their issues are addressed, whatever they may be.
All right, let's go back now to our conversation. Thank you for your comments on that. And we go back to the manifesto for Jubilee. We talked about job creation. I want also to talk about infrastructure. One of the things that Jubilee is saying saying that now that we have the phase 1 of the SGR, they will be able to complete phase 2 that connects the railway to Uganda. Let's talk about SGR. What kind of impact has it had so far in regards to perception that, you know, this government came in and fulfilled one of the promises that it made?
Well, first of all, on face value, it is good that it fulfilled a promise that it had made. But immediately I hastened to follow that, as many other people, commentators and analysts do, at what expense, at what cost. When I look at what has been shared all over now, you know, what has been shared in terms of what that SGR has cost this country, what the alternatives could have been, you know, what other options we had as a country, I am left. I could borrow some other analysts' words. I think I've heard him. I've watched him on TV say, "You know what? This thing stinks. Let's leave it. It stinks. This
we just leave it and forget about it,
and just talk about politics because this SGR stinks." As in, you begin to analyze honestly, and you get upset. I pick figures from people who have more competence in that area, economists, engineers, and so on, Kenyan ones, you know, from European countries, from our neighboring countries. I listen to what they are saying. I analyze the options they are giving us that we could have gone with, and I feel totally cheated. I'm happy and excited that, you know, we had that thought that this nation must move away from that old railway system to standard gauge railway. That is beautiful, and railway really moves masses as compared to road transport, buses and so on. That is beautiful. But when I look at the cost and I listen to the options that could have been, I begin to hurt, and it really pains me that if this is true, and for now, all the information available has planted doubt in my mind and many other Kenyans' minds as to the sincerity of the people that executed this project. Were they really sincere and honest? Did they act with integrity really? Or are the questions being asked actually questions which they cannot answer in terms of the amount of money they have spent on this railway and the economic viability of this railway? Is it going to pay back? I've seen analysis. I've seen people say that, look, they do not think in the foreseeable future that this SGR will pay back. And you know, it's a project that ought to pay back to the nation. But when I look at the figures, apparently it's not a project that will pay back anytime soon. So on one hand, you're excited, yes, good, the country is moving to the next level. We should get away from that old railway system. But on the other hand, is at what cost, at what expense?
All right. Let's talk about, you know, the electorate, because at the end of the day, you know, these are the people who are going to, you know, to either get convinced by the promises that are being made by both sides of the coalition or not. Do you think that they've been able to understand the kind of benefits that they will be able to get as Kenyans with the SGR good enough to actually want a second phase of this SGR?
Yes and no. I'd say yes because we've seen that in mainstream media, where the media has done very well in highlighting the stories of those who've been on board the SGR. And the other information that is coming to us is that you have the SGR creating over 30,000 jobs, easing transport, and most of the people who are using it feel that it's safer and a faster means of transport. So that you have business people affirming that now they can do business faster, they don't have to they don't have to travel for hours, and that is good for them for business and good for the economy as well. The no part will be that, as you had the president saying, that while their whole agenda is economic, and economic initiatives do not result into microwave kind of results, and so it takes time for them to, for them or for the community using the machines, so to speak, to realize the benefits. And so the problem will be the country could be having all these things, but people are yet to feel it at the common level, and they're yet it's not addressing what majority might feel it's their day-to-day issues. But then from my perspective, it's a good thing. I believe as a country and within the region, we are moving towards the right direction as far as economic development is concerned. And for Jubilee, it must find ways and means of putting a human face, because there are individuals and their communities that are already benefiting from all these infrastructural initiatives that are taking place. And so it must focus on that to show people that, fine, this is where we are heading to, these are the benefits that we are seeing now, these are the mid-term benefits, and these are the long-term benefits that you are likely to see.
All right.
Yeah.